Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Omira. This is exciting for me to be able to start a channel because God told me to start a channel, YouTube channel, and I'm really excited and I want to talk to you today about my testimony. When I was sick and I had liver disease. I had a fatty liver, and this was back in 2014 when began to lose weight, and I didn't know why. I didn't really notice it, honestly. It was when people would make comments, whether at church or just people from around the community would just ask me questions like, hey, are you losing weight? What's going on? You just look slimmer. Are you on a diet? And I began to, I would say to them, no, I am not losing any weight. I'm not intending to lose any weight or anything like that. And so one day I decided to take a look at myself in the mirror. And I honestly saw myself very thin, just very thin from the face and the body as well. But I didn't notice it. I didn't take notice of it at all. And so I decided to go to my doctor at the time, Dr. Silverstein. And he's a functional doctor. He's an MD, but he's also holistic. And so I prefer to be treated holistically. And so I went to him and I had said to him, Dr. Silverstein, it looks like I've lost a lot of weight. And my weight was always pretty much consistent. It was basically like 113 pounds, 112, 113. And so he said to me, okay, let's just run some tests on you, blood work as well. And so that took place. Also at the time, I was experiencing like body aches. And this was something that wouldn't happen all the time, but there would be times where I would just feel like my body, I would just feel achy from head to toe. And I didn't understand why. I didn't know why. And I mentioned that to Dr. Silverstein. And I said, I just don't understand why I am feeling achiness, and then it comes and then it goes. And he says, okay, let's just, let's run some tests and everything. Let's see what's happening. So make a long story short, at that time as well, a friend of mine said, oh, Myra, why don't you just go to an iridologist? And basically, for those of you who don't know, an iridologist is someone who reads the eyes. And so I did go. And when I went, basically the lady took a look at my eyes, and it was with like a camera. It's like a telescope, like a camera that would just basically focus on the eyes. And basically by focusing on the eyes, the iridologist can basically tell you your state of health. This is not diagnosis, but it can tell you what is happening with your health. And so when I went to see her, she had me put my hand on a mouse, like computer mouse, and basically that mouse would that scanner, it was a scanner, and that scanner would detect anything that is happening in my body. And when I got the results, I was in shock, because the scanner actually, it recommends certain supplements, depending on, according to what is going on with your health. And so the scanner detected, or actually suggested, a supplement called myalgia. And I couldn't understand, like, okay, I know fibromyalgia, which is, basically like body aches and other things that go with it. But it was surprising to me because I wasn't expecting that. But I had told him that I was actually experiencing some body aches. And so with that, I was like, wow, it was just amazing to me. And also the scanner detected other things that was going on in my body. Also, I actually had, with the iridology test, I had colon strictures. And basically, that was really alarming to me. And so the iridologist recommended that I go see a colonic therapist. And so she recommended someone. I went to go see that person, and that person had asked me, when was the last time you went to go see an iridologist? And I said, well, it was about a year ago, a year from that time. And I will never forget the colonic therapist basically stated, what's wrong with you? And so during that time, my journey with health, it just basically opened my eyes, because I didn't take into account, I didn't really think of health the way I do now. And during the process when I was actually experiencing all these symptoms. And so basically I just decided to change my diet, and Dr. Silverstein had also recommended that, and also the colonic therapist, as well as the iridologist. And I really did a thorough cleansing in my body. Dr. Silverstein stated to me, you have to change your diet, and that's exactly what I did. So I changed my diet. I went from eating basically like meat or poultry, steak, and to basically eating fruits and vegetables and legumes and lentils, chickpeas. And during that time, actually, I had weaned myself off of dairy. There was something in me that was like, you know what, get off of dairy. I remember when I was a little girl, I would always have a stuffy nose, always like nose drip, or just nose drip, and just always feeling sickly. I never knew why. I just basically was always feeling sick. Fevers when I was young, and I didn't understand. I really didn't understand. However, when I stopped consuming dairy, the stuffy nose went away. I started feeling better. I began drinking, to substitute that, I began drinking like nut milks, almond milk, soy milk, walnut milk, Brazil nut milk, and I began to feel a lot better. I began to really feel a lot better. And I said to myself, there's something about dairy that doesn't really work well with the human body. And I began to do research. But during that time, so when I did go to see Dr. Silverstein, he said, let's go, and I'm going to have you go for an MRI on your organs, to check your organs, to make sure everything is okay. So I did that. Lo and behold, I had a fatty liver, guys. A fatty liver. And I basically asked Dr. Silverstein several questions. I said, well, how did I get this? How can a person get this? And he says, Omira, he says, you're like a skinny fat person. He says, usually people who are overweight get fatty livers. He says, but you're very thin. And at the time I used to weigh, prior to losing all that weight, I used to weigh 112, 113. But I went down to like 101. And he says, you're like a skinny fat person. And he says, basically you can get a fatty liver with your diet, poor diet, and also if you consume alcohol. Well, during that time, I would consume wine. I liked wine. I mean, I wouldn't drink it all the time. Socially, maybe once in a while I would do that, but I would also consume it. I would also drink wine with my meal, just a small cup of wine, every day I would say, and I didn't think anything of it. But he says, cut out the wine, change your diet, fruits and vegetables, and let's see what happens then. I did that, guys. I did it. And you know what? Yes, things began to change. And I also began to incorporate botanical herbs. Now, let me tell you about botanical herbs because they're amazing. Now, the Bible talks about it, that the herbs are for the healing of the nation. And when I actually did that, honestly, when I did that, I mean, it was like, wow, like it was amazing because I took 3 different botanical herbs. And those botanical herbs were milk thistle, burdock root, and dandelion. And I mixed those herbs and I drank it for 3 days. No, not 3 days, for 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months, guys. 6 to 8 months. And I drank it 3 times a day. I was very consistent, mind you. Very, very consistent. Why? Because I was committed. I was committed to changing my diet. I was committed to changing my health because the last thing that I wanted to be was sick. That's something that, who wants to feel sick? Who wants to be sick? Not me. And so that began my journey. And during that time, within the 6 to 8 months, I actually went back and I actually went back to get another MRI. And lo and behold, I got rid of my fatty liver. And I was so excited. I was just so excited. And that began my journey towards health. It began my journey towards health. And I said to myself, this is my mission. My mission is to be able to help others. My mission is to be able to educate others. My mission is to be able to pass on this information that God has downloaded to me. And I give God all the glory. I take no glory in what I'm saying to you. Why? Because it all came from Him. He began to show me things. He began to open my eyes. He began to give me revelation of all these things. And I just began to do research. And I began to research. And I was just so excited. It became my passion. My passion became just so, it just basically enlightened me. I just was so happy. I was so happy, and it just changed my life completely. It changed my life, guys. When I tell you it changed my life, it changed my life. Who's to say that you cannot heal? Who's to say that you cannot reverse diseases? Who's to say that? I'm living proof. I'm a living testimony before God. Living testimony that, you know what? That if you want to change your situation, your health, whatever crisis you're going through, it can be done. You have to put in the work, people. You have to put in the work. Why? Because it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. You know, you just don't get a diagnosis right away, one day to the next. No, it happens during time. Because if you're eating toxic food, eventually there's a consequence for that. Down the road, you will receive a diagnosis. So it all depends what you're consuming. And it's important what you consume and what you feed this body. The body is full of cells, right? Trillions and trillions of cells, right? So what are we feeding this body? Are we taking care of it? Are we not taking care of it? It's no different, right? If you have a car and your car doesn't function, right? You go and change the oil, right? You give it maintenance, right? So why is it that we don't give maintenance to this body that God has created so beautifully? And it's just amazing, the body that God has created. And so this was my journey. And I reversed it. Even the fibromyalgia, no more fibromyalgia. I no longer experience any pain. And I'm very excited about that. And, to God be the glory, as I mentioned. It is just amazing. It is amazing. And so this has been my mission. My mission has been to help others. My mission has been to go and reverse diseases. You don't have to live with that disease. You do not have to. No matter what the doctors say. Doesn't matter. What do you believe? Do you believe in the report of a doctor, or do you believe in the report of the Lord? During my journey, I never took a medication. I didn't take a medication for my liver. I refused to. I refused to. I said, I'm going natural. I'm going God's way, not the doctor's way. I'm going God's way because it works. Because God knows what's best for us. God knows. He created these bodies. He knows what we're supposed to eat as human beings. But a lot of times, we just, want to eat everything and anything and think that we're going to be healthy. That's not how it works, people. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And, so this has been an amazing journey for me. And I'm here today to tell you that, you know what? Be encouraged. Be encouraged. This is my testimony. And if it happened for me, it will happen for you. You might have a different condition than I did, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that, you know what? You take care of it. That you deal with it. That you change your diet. What is the biological food for a human? I always ask that question. What is the biological food for a human? What are human beings supposed to eat? What was the food that God gave us to eat? These are the questions that a lot of times we don't answer. We don't even question it. We just eat what we want to eat because we feel like eating it. Because you know what? It's just, oh, well, I want it, so I'm going to go and eat it. But what are the consequences to that? And so I am here to tell you that there is hope and that you can do it. And that if I did it, you can do it as well. And so I'm really excited. Share and like and subscribe to this channel. I'm so excited because I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos and different things I'm going to just throw out there. And yeah, I want it to be fruitful and spread the word and give you information, give you a lot of information, and just, talk. Let us talk. Let us have a dialogue. Let us, just talk about the goodness of God and how amazing He is and the food that He has given us and the things that we can take that, to heal our bodies and just to be fit for the kingdom. Because I want to be fit for the kingdom. I want to be healthy, strong, vibrant for the kingdom of God, to do God's will, to go and do what He called me to do, and to spread the gospel and to help those who are in need. And so that's my mission. And so I'm grateful. I thank you for watching, and like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you.